shit, I got it again. But are we live?
Yeah, we live. We back live, baby, yeah! We don't just do it. We're going through some things.
Well, let's just hope it works right.
True. I mean, we own, so we wanted to make it do what it do. And it's still, I'll just have to change the title later.
Well, I put the right title in, so I don't know.
It's still saying Sip and Trip.
All right, well, let's do this.
All right, let me do these shares.
I needed this.
Shit, you're gonna need more than that after this messed up ass episode, and it better post. I'm gonna be so pissed if it don't post. I swear to God. All right, let's see where we at. All right. I know Margie and I think everybody ran to the other one, but we back on now. They hating on us.
I ended that one, so. Where is all this rain coming from, all this weather?
Who knows?
Hi, Kimberly.
Come on in. We're having some technical difficulty. They won't let us change the title, but everyone knows what we're here for. If you're in the room, say something. We've been trying to work through these things, man. Zoom hating on us.
Yeah, Zoom has been tripping, y'all. It's not us, it's the application, so.
Oh, shit, man. I still got the COVID. What's up, Zanelle? I still got the COVID locks. I'm looking raggedy.
So yeah, we can't be too long because the big storm is rolling right over the top of me.
Shit, that means it's gonna be hitting me soon. We got 4, me, you, Zanelle, Kim. Man. I'm about to start getting rolling here in a second. 4 minutes in. I'm tripping. All right. Hey, if y'all if anything happens where we're not you can't hear us or something freezes, if you can, please let us know. But about to start rolling here in a second. We got 6, 2 of them are me, because I'm watching from my phone. I'm watching on my laptop. You ready, Joy?
Yep, let's go ahead and do this.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Big Ken.
And I'm Joya the Queen. Thank you guys so much for coming back and joining us.
Just say your name.
Joya the Queen.
All right. And this is another episode of Maybe I'm Tripping. Thank you for bearing with us. Joya, the producer, technician, frustrated as ever, trying to get the Zoom on. Don't know why it won't let us change the name. Don't know why it wouldn't let us on earlier. What's up, Shantae? What's up, Dunk? What's up, Pat? But we're here.
We are here. Thank you guys so much for coming back. Hey, Pat and Shantae, Zanelle, Kimberly. I just also wanted to give an update on last episode. My cousin is fine.
That was Shantae. Shantae hit me up and asked me about your cousin. She did hit me up earlier and asked me.
My cousin is fine. She's doing well. Nothing happened. People were shooting in the air, just being jerks, fighting, just being rowdy in the streets. Everybody's okay. So she'd made a video for everybody who was watching for me to actually post up and just let you guys know. But for some reason, my phone did not save it. I probably ran out of storage space or whatever the case is. But she did want me to let everyone know that she's fine.
Is she moving to San Antonio like she said she was?
She might. I'd be happy if she does.
She was like, I'm moving to San Antonio. That was the crazy part.
Yeah, it was wild. It was crazy, but go ahead and get started with our first story.
First story before we get into the nitty gritty. These white folks tripping. Still doing the same shit, different goddamn day. We're gonna start with, I need to get his name. What was his name? Do you remember?
What are you talking about?
Chris in New York.
What?
Don't watch it. Bird watching while black.
Hold on a second. I had the story pulled up, but now my phone doesn't want to connect to internet.
I got it pulled up right here. White woman calls police on black man bird watching in Central Park has been fired. This was yesterday, 2020, when this story came about. The gentleman's name is
Christian Cooper.
His name can't be Christian Cooper because they're not related. They have the same last name, but they're not related because her name is Amy Cooper with her cocker.
That is right. So if you guys haven't seen the video, it is viral right now. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it. Basically what happened is Christian Cooper is an avid bird watcher, which is also called a birder. So Central Park is known for that area of having birds to just sit and watch or whatever the case is. Now, in this area, people don't expect a lot of bikers. They don't expect a lot of joggers. They don't expect people with dogs. And that's why it's mandatory that dogs are on leashes at all times, because people are watching birds there. So he respectfully asked the lady, hey, excuse me, you know, your dog is supposed to be on a leash. I'm watching birds. She went off. She used the ultimate trump card, pretty much, if you want to call it that, the ace of spade, and said that I'm going to call the police and I'm going to tell the police that I'm being assaulted by an African-American male, me and my dog.
Confronted, said he was going to put bodily harm on me. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm afraid. Send someone immediately, as she's strangling her dog.
Right. So the story
No,
goes
not on the leash. She got the dog by the collar, the dog tongue out, strangling, as she trying to call the fucking police on somebody who wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
All because she was afraid.
No, you know, I think afraid was part of it, but I also believe that if you're going to react in a situation like that, the way she handled her own animal, I think she had other underlying issues that were also contributing to that. And that was her snapping point.
Fuck her.
I agree. But
I ain't got no compassion for her for calling the police on somebody who was trying to tell her to do right. Put your dog on the goddamn leash while I watch my goddamn birds, please. And he told, please don't come near me. Oh, you're filming me. Oh my God, I'm afraid of your camera and you, and because you're telling me what I have to do. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up, Karen.
100% honest. It's getting to the point where people have to film their every encounter with another person, especially of an opposite race, because people can say anything. Had he not been recording, she could have very well so said that he assaulted her, she strangled her dog. She could have said he did it.
True. The dog just confused. But Amy Cooper, aka Karen, has been fired from her job. Her dog, she had to surrender it to the rescue agency that she got the dog from. They took her dog. They fired. She ain't got no job.
Also, her kids have been sent to her ex.
Damn. Mm-hmm. What were the kids at during this walking?
I'm not sure.
Is it negligent? How old are these children? There's so many.
I'm not sure how old the kids were or who they were with at the time, but at this moment, her ex is having that custody of them until she gets whatever she needs to get taken care of. And that's why I say it probably was other issues that she had going on. And she figured, I want to be an asshole. Yeah, I want to be an asshole to somebody. Let me do it to this black man who nicely asked me to put my dog on a leash. So now I'm gonna ruin his life because I'm fucked up already. So,
but no, I'm saying they may have placed the kids because of possible harassment and this, that, and the other. Because motherfuckers will find out.
And that's true too.
They'll find out information.
You know, but actually, I am proud of the way that Christian Cooper handled this, because I know that not only is he a bird watcher, but he is a board member of Audubon Society. He is also a Harvard graduate, and he is a formal Marvel comic book editor. And he is a current science editor. So this man is well educated. He is smart. He has edited for Marvel, which is some of my favorite comics to read. He is just this all-around guy who was just asking someone to follow the rules that apply to everybody. So I thought he handled it well. He carried himself well. After the encounter, he did do somewhat of an interview type style thing and said, you know, I was just asking someone to follow the rules like everyone else has to.
Because she was near a sign that told her what to do. What's up, Julie? We're talking about Karen with her dog strangling situation against the Saint Christian Cooper, scientist, science editor, Marvel editor, Harvard graduate, who was lied on. That when I saw that, it reminded me of Rosewood. Have you ever seen Rosewood, the movie?
Yes.
For everyone who hasn't seen Rosewood, it was this white woman who was cheating on her husband and low-key almost got caught, but no, she did get caught. And so her husband wouldn't be embarrassed or anything like that. They came up with the story that she was raped by a black man. Just so happened that there was a black man who wasn't from the area, and they killed the whole city. Well, the whole small black community.
Right. It pretty much was, a small black community. They had a few whites in there, you know what I'm saying? But it was one of those little country towns, put it that way.
But it was just the same thing. White woman crying wolf and a nigga get killed.
But I mean, that was based on a true story, believe it or not. So
that's true. They got money for that too. The descendants of those people, they got money for that. But let's talk about the tragedy.
Hold on. Before we get into the tragedy, there's also another incident that happened where 3 young black entrepreneurs were confronted.
I just saw that.
They were confronted by a man, and it was going viral because they asked the white male asked the 3 young black men if they belonged where they belonged. Now, mind you, this is kind of like, I wouldn't say storefronts, but there's different areas within that building. First of all,
it's office buildings.
Yeah, you need key card access to get in, and then you also need key card access to get into your area of that building. So all 3 of them had their access cards. They were using the gym in that building and were asked if they belong there, and then just pretty much told that they don't look like they belong there.
Right. Where's your office space? Because there are 3 entrepreneurs who occupy an office space in the building, and the white dude called the police and said, there are 3 gentlemen in here don't look like they belong here. What the fuck does that mean?
If it's office,
where do we belong?
Right. I just honestly think that, the stuff that a lot of the confrontation is happening with, these are the 3 young black men who own a business. The other guy was a well-educated black man who have done marvelous things within his career. And I feel like you can't know that by not talking to someone. You know what I'm saying? People automatically look at you and say, oh, you're black, you're guilty of something. And I don't think that's fair.
Gotta be. But that goes back to the other rant about RIP Ahmaud Arbery. His killers have been arrested, awaiting trial, charged with murder, cameraman and all. Now we're moving forward to George Floyd.
Yes.
Tragically killed on camera by Minneapolis police because he fit the description of someone passing counterfeit currency. I don't know if it was counterfeit money, if it was a forged check. Come to find out, it was not him. I don't know the cop's name. Joy has done the research. I could not watch. No, I watched the video. I didn't care to learn anyone's name. I just know where it was at, except for the victim. Now, we're going into my background in security law enforcement. I actually had a guest that I wanted to bring on, but they were not available because I am a former law enforcement agent. I wanted to talk to someone who was current, but he's not available. Maybe we'll do a follow-up with that gentleman soon. But this is what I saw because I had to make myself watch the video. And for the patrons, I posted the videos on our Patreon, so they know reference points for the people who haven't seen it. I know people that did not want to see it, but it's on our Patreon. Please subscribe. Patreon.com/maybe I'm tripping. Please contribute. It helps us grow our channel, and you get footnotes on episodes. And hopefully, once the pandemic is over and me and Joy are back in studio, you'll get some exclusive early content. We're still working on our channel. We're gonna be better, guaranteed.
Yes.
But this is what I had to force myself to watch. Mr. George Floyd was on the ground, handcuffed, and a police officer with his
hold on,
knee.
I'm sorry, hold on. We just got an update 7 minutes ago. The male that questioned the 3 Black young gentlemen, he loses his office lease.
Damn!
After the video went viral.
Damn, that's what's up. Get out of here.
7 minutes ago. What happened is that the CEO of Ackerberg Group, who owns the building, stated that he shared with him that I did not think it was handled well and there were other ways to go about this. It's unfortunate, and our goal is to create a safe and inviting experience for everyone. So it says that the man in the video, Tom Austin, in an email admitted that he didn't handle the situation properly and should have minded his business, and said that he should have handled it differently. He said it was not his job to have done anything.
The motherfuckers you gotta hurt their motherfucking pockets. You gotta hurt them. You just gotta, fuck them. Here's the thing, for all my Caucasian followers, I apologize in advance. My views do not reflect the views of Joy the Queen. These are all my personal views and how I feel as this is going on. As a Black man in the United States of hell. But
I just want to say one thing is that y'all know my motto, and I am a firm believer of mind your damn business. And that goes for everybody. Yeah. If only more people minded their business, a lot less things in this world would happen. A lot. Stay to yourself, unless it's a child or an old person or someone who can't defend themselves, then maybe step in. But other than that, let the police do their job or mind your damn business.
Right.
It's not your place to question anybody of where they should be, where they're supposed to be, who they're going to see. Do you live here? That's not my business. You know how many strange people I see walking up and down the halls? That's not my business, as long as they don't come knock on my door.
But I always give them a reference of what they're doing. I'm that guy, I'll be driving where we work, the area where we work at, and then there'll be somebody just running. They're like, where are they running to? Where are they running from? That's just me. But
it was probably me running the clock in so I won't be late for lunch.
That's a fact. But Mr. George Floyd, handcuffed. 3 officers had him under control. 3. And 1 supposedly doing crowd control. Now, the gentleman who had his knee on his neck, if you watch the video, Mr. George Floyd pleaded, I can't breathe. My stomach hurt. My leg hurt. My neck hurt. He's in agony. He's not struggling. The video is 8 minutes long. Mr. Floyd is 40 some odd years old. This man called out for his mama. In desperation.
I didn't fully watch the video. I halfway watched the video, which means that I was peeking, but I was listening. I've already said before, I don't like to see videos like this. I didn't like to see the video that was released about Nipsey Hussle. I didn't like the video that was released about XXX Tentacion. I don't like videos like this, period.
Well, this video needed to come out.
It did, and I'm glad it was on video. I just don't like to see it. They have the evidence, cool. I'm good with that. But it's just something me personally, I can't see. You know what I'm saying? But to listen to the audio of that and to hear this grown man plead for his mother, who, had she would have been there, probably still wouldn't have been able to do anything because they probably would have beat an old lady down too. It was just the saddest thing in the world, and it really broke my heart. Like, it really did. It just made it seem, or what I felt like, is that some people, and some people with badges, do not care anything about other human lives. And that's just the way I felt about it.
Right. But now, terrible situation. Unfortunate, that Mr. Floyd had to die. But I hope and I think in this situation, justice will be served. There is no way these people get off. They have not been arrested yet, but the mayor did have a press conference today pleading with the DA saying we need to arrest these people and we need to bring on charges, which is probably going to happen because it's just ridiculous if it doesn't. If here's the thing, they're rioting, not necessarily, they are rioting in Minneapolis, but it's not to the level of Rodney King. They're protesting in the street. They are damaging cop cars. Cops are standing down. They're damaging shit out there. They're throwing things, they're flipping shit over, but it's not a Rodney King type of riots or protests. But now, being that I am former law enforcement and I have had to go hands-on with people, I have put handcuffs on people. I've had to fight people not necessarily fight, I've had to overpower people. I've had to do that. But I've never, ever felt the need to go out of my way to humiliate someone. I've never gone out of my way to hurt someone. It may seem as though, because I am a big guy, and people, why'd you have to do that? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I can answer all those types of questions because, you don't know what's going on. You don't know, what happened before I had to take this person to the ground, or why I'm being stronger than a person to take control of a situation,
Yeah.
because I'm on Facebook and I'm reading comments, this and that. And if I was there, and why was the person that was filming, why didn't he help? This is what I'm going to say about the people who asked about the guy who was filming and didn't help. He did all he could do. He, verbally told him the cop was weak. He was a coward. The guy who was standing there, supposedly the Asian officer doing crowd control. It's
like
so much he could do.
Like, I definitely understand in this situation. Like I said, if it's another civilian who is doing this to another person, then at that point you have to decide whether you're going to help them, get the police involved, or stop the issue, or whatever the case is. These are police officers who are supposed to be trained, who are supposed to know what they're doing, and who are supposed to be able to subdue a potential criminal or suspect without killing them. So really, honestly, a normal person, a regular civilian, should not be interfering in police activity.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why they didn't do that. But the smartest thing that they did do is get video record of it, because what they were doing was wrong.
Right.
He, like you said, he did all that he could do.
Right. But what happened to Mr. George Floyd, that was not a mistraining situation. That is incompetence.
It is. And I feel
training. But like,
he was already subdued They had set him down up against the wall of a building on the opposite side of the car, talking to him. Yeah. And then pretty much the guy who had his knee on him made it seem like he didn't want to get in the car for whatever reason, threw him to the ground, got on his neck and all this kind of stuff. But I don't get it. You better
not cry.
I'm not gonna cry.
That's why
I'm drinking. I'm drinking this. I'm not gonna cry.
Now, Cloud Village. I don't know who's running that page, but you got the Cloud Village in here. Now, let me speak to what you said. Yes, you are correct. From the video, he didn't resist. Now we have to. Let me go into. I'm not taking up for anybody, but I just want to give you what happens when it comes to being hands-on with someone and the aspect of resisting. When you go hands-on with someone, just say I go hands-on with you, Joy, and I have your hands behind your back, and I got you under control. I'm holding you in a way to where when I can feel when you twitch this, you do this, you have to boom, stop moving. That's the smallest thing. If I'm not controlling you and you make a move, you're resisting. Now, from the video, I did not see that, but what I'm saying is, if you are not in that situation where you have your hands on a person, you don't know what the officers feel. I'm not taking up for him.
Didn't they already have him cuffed though?
Right, but cuff doesn't mean you can't resist.
What is he gonna do? Run?
No, listen. Here's the thing. If I have you, yeah, there are people who run cuffed all the time. But if I have you handcuffed and I have you against the wall, but you want to turn around and face me, it's so many different levels to that type of shit. I'm not condoning it, but what I'm saying is I'm giving people the.
Okay, so I have a question.
Go ahead.
Based on your training, right?
Yes.
If you have someone with their handcuffs behind their back and they're sitting up against the wall, do you see that? My lights flickered. Y'all, there's a storm coming again. So if we lose power, I'm so sorry. We'll try to recap this, maybe do a shorter episode tomorrow. But I apologize. We've just been having bad weather, tornado warnings, thunderstorms, all of that. So, question.
Right.
According to your training, if I have my handcuffs behind my back and I'm sitting up against the wall with my feet out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I resisting arrest?
No.
Okay, so if you pick me up and you walk me to the car and I do this because maybe the handcuffs are uncomfortable, or maybe y'all had already beaten me or something like that before you set me down.
I'm gonna say this. Handcuffs being uncomfortable and you do that, you can be thrown to the ground.
Okay, so even if I did that, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm cursing and I'm like, F12, I ain't getting in no car, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, once you say you're not getting in the car, you're really going to the ground.
Okay, and if they tackle me to the ground,
right?
What in your protocol tells you that you can put your knee on someone's neck?
That's the problem. You can't.
Exactly.
You can't. That's the fucked up part. But what I'm speaking to is the people who are watching or any video. This isn't even this video. This because people, once this video happened, they started posting all the other videos resurfaced and things like that. But like I said, hold on, let's see what they say. The one tweet, let me see. Amelia says, if you feel threatened by a situation, then you stand there with your hands in your pocket. At the end of the day, the man was subdued. There's no need for that amount of force to be used. I agree. No, they had him sitting with his back against a wall handcuff, choked him up, and then he was calm, no kind of back talk. I understand that. Exactly. I do understand that. But I was just trying to explain the concept of resisting, not in this instance, but when people try to, say, not talking about this, I'm talking about overall. We're talking about George Floyd, but my rant or my what's up, Sid Boo? My bad, I didn't know you was here. And I'm just talking about
You're talking about what you were taught and what protocols should be.
What could be a reason why? Now, in this case, there was no reason why. No reason. There was no reason why in this case for 3 officers to be sitting on him, the knee on the neck. There's no reason to sit on his neck for 8 minutes. You have control of the situations. There is no reason for you to sit on that man's neck no matter what he was doing, because you would control the situation 7 minutes ago.
Now, okay. I'm going to ask more questions because, like I said, you've had training, you know more protocols than what an average person does. And I think that this is good to talk to people like that because of the fact that cops always wonder, well, why do people run away, or why are people so afraid when we approach them, or why this, and why does it always have to go left or right, or whatever the case is because normal people don't know how to interact with policemen, just like certain policemen don't know how to interact with normal people, Black people, for example.
But I'm gonna be Black devil's advocate with
I know,
that
but
situation.
I'm just saying,
No,
if you have people in fear that are face to face with each other, of course the situation is going to go bad. So that's the reason why I'm asking you these different questions, and why I feel like more people just need to be educated on not only, how to treat general population people versus how regular people should interact with law enforcement.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to speak for the African, because I'm Black. I've worn a badge, and this is what we need. First thing we need to is know our rights.
Yes.
Secondly, now for the parents and the mothers, I don't know people who are parents in here. I don't know who have children, but when I wore the badge and I was in different situations and a kid was acting out, the first thing the parents would say is, I'm gonna get that policeman on you. I'm gonna get that security on you. And you know what I would say? I'm not gonna do anything to that child. You need to control your child. That's your child. What are you putting parental what's the word I want to use? Parental consent to discipline your child because I have a badge. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I hate when people do that. They go to that policeman, I'm gonna tell that policeman, he's gonna take you to jail. Shut the fuck up.
They had Beyond Scared Straight show.
But no, that's acting. But cause first of all, it ain't no fucking Scared Straight because the inmates can't put their fucking hands on you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? That's all acting. That's all for show, man. That's reality TV. But it's just public relations with cops. Yeah, cops are assholes, but you know what they fear? A motherfucker who knows their rights. True. That's what they're afraid of. But the thing about it is you have to articulate it in a way that you don't come off as an asshole, a know-it-all, anything like that. If you
so I have a question on that. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to cut you off, but I have a question, right?
Good.
Why can't everyone, and I know I'm reaching, and my back gonna be hurting because I'm reaching so much, but why can't everybody be treated fairly? Even just a general traffic stop. I got stopped by the police for speeding one time. The cop was an asshole to me. If I was a white woman, I would have been like, just with an attitude back, because I've seen it on different TV shows. People get pulled over and they're, why'd you pull me over? And I ain't taking this ticket, and F you, cop, I ain't signing shit and see you in court. If I was to do that, I would get shot. So if you're gonna let the white lady do it, then I should be able to do it too.
You have to understand, like I said in a previous episode about Ahmaud Arbery, is because they're afraid of us.
But that's not my problem.
Right, but listen what I'm saying. They I'm telling you, it's just like it's like a person with dysphoria. You look into the mirror, you see something different. You could be a beautiful, handsome person, but when you look in the mirror, you see something different. When it comes to certain people, it's like Joy, you know me, like I always say. And you just like, oh, that's Ken, or he's he's funny. He does smile. He does this, that, and the other. But it'll be someone who doesn't know me. They'll see me walk up and be like, oh shit, man, I know you could probably beat me up. Why do you think that? What have you done for me to put my hands on you? That's just what it is. When no one's.
But I am a small lady. He didn't have to be an asshole.
But the thing is,
you know one thing, I was an asshole back, and I'm glad I was. Still got the ticket though, but I was an asshole back.
Right. But what I'm saying is that because they think, but that's all police officers with authority. Here's the thing. It is a lot of black and white, but it's a lot of authority and non-authority.
Right, and that's the problem, is that the people who don't look like us have that sense of entitlement and feel like they're above the law and get away with everything, even murder to a human being. And we can't even walk down the street without somebody cornering us and considering us a suspect or guilty of some type of crime that we had no idea that happened. That's what I'm saying.
The thing about it is because there's always the stereotype of we can sing, we can dance, and we can fight well. That's what it is. That's the thing.
So you think that they feel that we're superior?
That's the thing. It's a fear. We're better. We're essentially more proficient in areas. I'm not going to say better. We're more proficient in areas than they are because they don't have to do that. They don't have to come up in a competitive society when you have everything handed to you.
I don't understand why though, because like you said, they have things handed to them. Their parents hand them down businesses when our parents can't even get a business loan. They have their schools paid for when we can't even get student loans half the time. Like they have that, but then they're still jealous that we're better athletes, that we're better singers, that our hair looks different, that our music sounds better, that we dress different. Like they're still mad about that when you have all of this. But what sense does that make?
That's a superior inferior complex. You have everything handed to you and you still in the back of your mind that I'm not better than him.
What are you talking about?
What I mean? It's just a complex. That's why they don't have they got one white running back in the league, Christian McCaffrey. All the other running backs are black because you know why? Because if you play running back in high school and you're white, you're not going to the league. You know you're not.
I'm not a big football person, but I'm a big basketball person, and I know about college basketball.
But if you're a black quarterback, you know you're not going to the league because they think white quarterbacks are better. There are black quarterbacks, but you have to be exceptional.
So I have a question.
Go ahead. We got off subject. Sorry, guys.
I know we did get off subject, and I don't want to take any light.
You were arguing with me.
I don't want to take any light off of George Floyd, or anything that happened in that particular situation. But I do want to ask Ken questions and pick his brain because he was former law enforcement, and I just want to know, like, from what his training was and what protocol should be, what we can do better and how we can communicate better with law enforcement just to educate ourselves, know our rights. So possibly that can help stop another one of us from dying, because it makes me really upset and I get really mad and I get really worried for people out there. And even when, it can be women. I mean, look at Sandra Bland and look at, just look at, what was the guy's name who got killed in the car with his wife and his girl?
Philando
Castile. He was shot. And then after he was shot and that whole situation occurred, they threw his wife and his child in the back of a police van. Like, what kind of people do this to people? They have no regard for any type of human life. And I think it sucks and it's dumb. And if it was their family or friends, they wouldn't like that at all. And I'm sorry. And I don't want to make it a black or white thing or a Hispanic or white thing or Hispanic and black thing. I don't want to make it like that, but that's what it's making it seem like. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as the people that are out there talking about, well, what about black on black crime? Crime is based on proximity. If you go to a white town, white people are killing white people. If you go to a Mexican town, Mexicans are killing Mexican people. You go to a black town, blacks are killing black. It's proximity.
You know why they
Proximity
say it?
crime. That happens.
Do you know why they say black on black crime?
Why?
It's phonetically pleasing to the palate. It rolls off your tongue. It's easier
but I
to
will
say.
I will say this. If they want to throw the black on black crime card in there, I'm going to say this. Whenever we kill each other, we go to jail. Shit, we go to jail for petty drug charges for a long time. We get justice when it comes to another black person killing us. We never get justice for when a white person kills us or when a police officer kills us.
Right.
That's the problem.
Well, the thing is, when here's the thing. When an officer of the law has to discharge his weapons, has to discharge his weapon, it is under the assumption that it was lawful, video or not. It's under the assumption that it's lawful, and that officer is his firearm is taken and an investigation is open. But the problem is the police are investigating the police.
That's
you know what
but
I'm saying?
I the good thing about it is I heard the FBI got involved in this case.
Yeah, they picked it up quick, and it's going to be in the arrest soon. I know it is. Here's the thing. I don't think they can, with the protests going on, they cannot go to, I think they're in front of the guy's house. They can't, which is fucked up, is that safety of they don't want any street justice to be involved. They want the judicial system to take hold, because if they take him out of his house, we don't know what's going to happen to him. We don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's just going to be
so you're scared to come out of your house because you're scared somebody's going to do something to you, but you weren't scared when you had your knee on that man's neck.
The only reason he had his knee on his neck is because that guy was filming him and calling him what he was, a pussy. Called him a pussy. And then the gentleman,
I don't care. You know why? Because anybody can walk up in here and call me all kind of names, call me out my name 24/7 and do all of this shit. You think that I'm gonna hurt someone else because someone else told me something?
Cloud Village, I'm trying to
you don't know half of the people call me on the internet.
Ranting. Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. You don't know what half of the people call me on the internet. You think I'm gonna kill somebody else because somebody else said something to me? No.
Right. But the thing is this, and I was talking to one of my he's actually a supervisor now, but it's like, here's the thing, and this is when people ask about the blue shield of silence. Now, this is when we go into, hold on one second. Somebody texted me and said they can't get into the comments. But the blue shield of silence. Now, like I said, everything was a tragedy. It was a tragedy. It was a tragedy. But let's talk about it from the real world. Now, huh?
I'm listening.
Oh, now I'm trying to get into the mind of the officer who just stood there. Now, his posture and demeanor, where he was standing, he was actually supposed to be crowd control. He was not in a capacity for crowd control. He just was standing there, had his hands in his pocket. He was not presence of force. He was not, he didn't know what to do. He looked confused. He didn't know, in the heat of the moment, he didn't know what to do. I'm not taking up for him because he's going to be charged with the murder too, because he should have stepped in. But when it comes to the blue shield of silence, we all have jobs and we all work with different people. I can't get it out. Go ahead, Jordan.
I have a question. So with that being said,
I was probably gonna say it.
Do you think? No, you're not. I'm asking a question. I was asking about the guy who stood there who was supposed to be crowd control.
Yeah, I was going there.
So based on his demeanor and based on the fact that he didn't step in, could that have been his superior, or could he have been new, or could he have been unsure still of the protocols, or whatever the case is?
You're in my head. I was going to say that.
Okay, because that was the only reason. Well, not reason, but that was an excuse of why I would say that he didn't. You know, like you said, based on his demeanor, his nervousness, his unsureness. I'm thinking in my head, this guy must be new. The other guy that had the knee on the guy's neck must have been above him and was telling him what to do.
Yeah, but yeah, that was going to be one of
Even then, you are still a human being at the end of the day behind that badge. And if somebody is screaming that they cannot breathe, I don't give a fuck what the protocol is.
But listen, but let me preface this now. God, but let me preface it. It's this, and this is, we always talk about the officers, but we have to also see that they're human and they're fucked up. Anybody can be fucked up. The gentleman who was on his neck is mostly fucked up. It was just a weird situation. Like, even when he had his knee on his neck, he was staring at the guy, videoing him. It just was that whole thing was just weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was doing it almost to kind of the guy that was filming, like, to say, I'm not no bitch.
Long as you talking shit, I'm gonna keep my knee on his neck.
And who does that? Like I said, if people can call me whatever they want on the internet in my face, that's not gonna make me hurt another human being. That's gonna make me hurt your ass. If I was that cop, I would have got up and snatched the phone out of his hand and been like, mind your damn business and move along. Stop calling me a pussy. But no, he's taking it out on the innocent guy that was already subdued.
Now, like, see, but back to the blue code of silence. How do I want to word this? I can say that if something like that was going on and I was there, it wouldn't have went down like that. But I do want to say this. At every job, we do things in front of our coworkers. And it's like you cut corners. You know what I'm saying? You cut corners, you look out for each other. You
it's like a frat.
Not necessarily that, but if it's a group, like I'll say I worked in a building with 7, 10, 12 officers at a time. We're in the building and it's all for 1 and 3 for 5. You know what I'm saying? If one person is in something, we're all in something. And, if things happen, we try our best to do the right thing and make sure everyone's accountable or whatever. But I can say that I was a part of something. It was nothing that harmed anyone. It wasn't nothing that, this, that, and the other. A guy came into the thing. It was 4 officers down there. He came in there disrespecting us, right? He then left something that he needed. We did something with it. He came back. He said, hey, now he needs us. He goes, hey, did I leave? Oh, no, man, I ain't seen nothing, bro. No, I ain't. You seen something, bro? No, I ain't seen nothing. This, that, and the other. Oh, man, you got to come back then, bro. You disrespect us and inconvenienced us with your verbal beration. We're going to inconvenience you now because you didn't have to do that before. Now you need us. You know what I'm saying? I can say that I've been a part of something like that. But what I'm saying is that's all I can see is that maybe the white guy had dirt on the Asian guy, or maybe he may have had dirt on the other guys. They may have done this before to someone. You know what I'm saying? And the Asian guy got rough with somebody and the white guy didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or any of the other officers. Not saying it's right, but that could have been what happened.
Or it could be this case. I've seen Law and Order and NCIS and all of these crime shows thousands of times where the white guy could be using the Asian guy to do dirty shit for him. Like, hey, I know that report I wrote, just sign off on it, say you was there, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And if you ever say anything, I'm going to get you on falsifying reports. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But at the end of the day,
but in this case, that can't be because the Asian dude has to know there's a camera. You were totally wrong. He should have said something no matter what the background of their relationship was. He should have said something.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
I talked to my homeboy. I said, man, if I was doing something out of the way and you checked me, I just got to get checked. You got to tell me when I'm fucking up or I'm going too far, because I can say, I told the story before, what the gentleman who verbally berated me and said that he wanted to put his hands on me, called me all types of bitches, said I was a pussy in a badge. You ain't shit without that gun. I pulled that badge off. I was ready to take my gun belt off. I said, hey man, let's go around this corner. Let's see how much of a pussy I am. But one of my partners, Pool, get out the elevator. Pool, get out the elevator. But what would have happened if he wasn't there? You know what I'm saying?
I know what happened. Same thing I would have did, and this is why I couldn't be no cop, because I would have kicked his ass.
I probably wasn't gonna put my hands on him, but I probably was gonna scare him. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna beat him up or nothing like that, but it's just what it is. But we're getting off topic. We're getting off the importance of Mr.
Tell me,
George.
Ken, what are civilians' rights whenever we have a police officer approaching us saying that you look like you fit the description of something that's going on? How do we handle ourselves in that situation? And I'm sorry, I'm dropping salt from that margarita all over my couch, so I'm trying to pick it up. But tell us what we should do.
I hate to say this, but I'm not gonna use the word because most people say comply. But here's the thing. If you're not doing anything wrong, do as much as you can to go about your way. If he says, now I'm gonna say this, cops ask some dumbass questions. Where are you coming from? Where you live? You don't have to answer that. If you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have to answer those questions. But
for a Black person, we are obligated in their eyes to answer that question. Then what we do?
That's where you got to know your rights. So like you go, where are you going? I'm going this way. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from over there. You're not being an asshole. You're answering his questions. But my whole thing is this: if you don't have anything wrong and you're not doing anything, and if someone says, let me see your ID, that's the quickest way to get them out of your business. That's it. That's the quickest way. Here's my ID, my name, and that's on there. Let them do what they're gonna do, get your ID back, and go about your way. Now, if you want to push the envelope and not give your ID, because you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna hit you with the failure to identify. But if I'm not in the commission of a crime, I don't have to identify myself to you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not in the wrong, but you gotta come correct. You just be like, hey man, this is going on. You have to be truthful because they try not to tell you what's going on to get you irate, to make you do something adverse so that they can then do something to you. But it's like, hey, here's my ID. My name is this.
But why though? This is what I hate, man. It makes me so mad. Like, why? Right. If I tell you that I'm coming from over here, because that's the same thing that the police officer tried to pull with me when I got the ticket. Where are you coming from this late? Excuse me? It's 7:30. I just got off of work. Mind your business.
But that's not. But the thing is, you don't have to be specific.
Right. And I was
like when you go like, I'm just getting off work. Where do you work? I don't have to answer that.
Right.
Me, like, where I work has nothing to do with it.
And this is why I felt like he had an attitude. Like he automatically suggested that I was guilty of something because of the fact that, yes, I admit I was going over the speed limit. I knew I probably was going to get a ticket, but you didn't have to be an asshole about it. Okay, it was a trap, a speed trap. The sign said 50, and like I say, not even a half a mile later, it said 35. How the fuck do you expect me to slow down right quick, fast? And that's why they put the trap right there. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Okay,
that's how they do,
whatever.
That's how they do. That's how you create revenue.
Right. And I get it, but don't be an asshole about it. Like, okay, I was speeding. I get it. Here's my license, my registration. Go ahead and give me my ticket. I'll go about my day. You go about yours. It can be a civil interaction. He wanted to be an asshole. He came up to my passenger side. Where are you coming from this late? Excuse me? I'm not your daughter or your wife.
Was it a main highway on your driver's side?
No. Wait, yes. I was getting off of the highway and the speed limit said 50. When you're on the highway, it's 70. So when you get off, the access road says 50, and then a half a mile, not even a quarter of a mile later, it says 35.
What I'm asking you a very important question. Was there speeding traffic on your driver's side?
Yes.
Was it the interstate?
No.
All right.
I got off the off ramp, and then I got onto the
far down?
What you mean?
So you say you were on the access road?
Yeah, I was on the access road, and I had just got off the highway. The speed limit said 50, right?
No. I'm not worried about that. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you where your car was. So
it was on the access road.
On the shoulder.
Yes.
Were you in the curve or were you at the end of it?
It was a straight shot. It was a two-way, actually. So there was only one way going this way, one way going that way.
What time was it?
Like 7:15, 7:30. Like, you know what time we get off of work?
Was the sun up?
No.
So it was dark?
It was dark at the time because it was winter, I believe, or fall.
No, because I was asking you that because when you pulled over by a cop and you're well out of the road or you're in a parking lot and they come up to your passenger side, that's a felony stop. All they want to do is harass you. They thought you were something else.
No, okay, so at this time I'm in the white Camaro, right?
That's what I'm saying. He thought you were something else. That was a felony.
I was a little innocent.
Were the windows
okay, I would tell the truth, and I would be very candid on this episode. I was rushing home because I had to pee, and you know how nasty our bathrooms are. I had to make it home so I can piss. Okay.
Right, but that was a felony stop. He was hoping that you were something.
But see, this
He was hoping you were male. And he was trying to provoke you for a search.
He was. Let me finish telling the story. So this is
I know exactly what he was doing. When you said passenger side, I knew it.
But he came around to the driver, though. I guess once he realized I was a woman, because
once he saw the woman, let me go this way. It was felony, now traffic.
Right, because he kind of paused and then he kind of did the little fake step or whatever, and like he forgot that was the passenger side of the car and came around. So what happened
but did you move? Were you moving?
No.
Okay.
Let me finish telling my story. So this is exactly what happened. I seen the
lights come on.
Long
Big Ken story.
It's not gonna be long. I seen the lights come on, and originally what I had did when he got behind me was I pulled off to the side of the access road where there is space enough for two people to park and not be in the street, right? And he got on his loudspeaker and he said, pull around to the parking lot because there is a storefront and an apartment complex behind the storefront. So I was like, all right. So I pulled over around into the parking lot. I didn't get in a parking space to where I was blocked in. I stopped in the middle of the parking lot and I just put my car in park. I turned my car off. I put my license, my registration on the dash, and I put my windows down, right? And I kept my hands on the wheel.
You were doing too much moving before he got to your car.
But still, I wasn't trying to get shot. So I had my hands on the steering wheel, and I actually had called at the time my significant other on the phone, right?
Too much moving. That's why he went to the passenger.
It was on the car phone. It was on speaker. So I was like, hey, I'm getting pulled over. I'm gonna just listen in. Don't say nothing. I just, whatever, right? Because this is what happens. So I was just being cautious. So I had my hands on the steering wheel, and then the cop was like, of course, he came to the passenger. He came back around. He was like, where are you coming from this late? I'm like, excuse me? He was like, where are you coming from this late? You're going fast. I'm like, work? He was like, okay. And I'm like, okay, and then he takes his flashlight and start looking in the car, looking in the back seat. It's a coupe, so he has to come around, like flashing it all in my face and shit. I'm like, can I help you? Am I getting a ticket or not?
Don't say anything.
I don't care. You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
I didn't give him permission to look in my car.
Everything's in plain view.
Everything he was doing so extra.
Everything he was looking at was in plain view. He can do that.
Not with a flashlight. If it's in plain view, you don't need a flashlight.
Yes, he can.
We were under a street light. He could see well into the car.
Don't argue.
Well, I argued because he was being an asshole, and the way that he said
that prompted him to be an asshole.
No, he was being the asshole first. The way he approached
me. Listen what I'm telling you, and this is for everyone who's listening.
I don't care.
Right, and you know what can happen with I don't care.
I know what can happen, Ken.
George Floyd.
I know that. Okay, so let me finish telling my story, and then you tell me what I could have done better. Okay. So when he was like, I need your license and registration, right? So not license and registration, license and insurance, because they don't check registration anymore.
Right.
So I was like, it's on the dashboard right here if you want to reach in and grab it. He was like, can you hand it to me? I'm like, okay. So I give it to him. Hand it to him. This is what he did. I'm like, here you go, officer. I'm like, okay.
No, let him.
I know, I didn't say anything. I was like, in my head, I took a mental note, like, okay, this guy is an asshole. Right. Calm down, whatever. But that's what I was thinking in my head, like, okay, you want to snatch things. Okay. But anyway, he took it. He was like, oh, this insurance is expired. Mind you, I had forgotten, change the insurance from Allstate to Geico. I was like, let me get that for you, sir. I have the Geico app on my phone, and I can pull it up, the insurance card for you right now. But my phone is in my purse. Purse is in the passenger seat. Can I get it, or are you gonna shoot me? That's exactly what I said. I'm sorry. He was being an asshole. He snatched the shit out of my hands, so I was being sarcastic. I'm sorry. He was like, yeah, why don't you go ahead and get that for me? And I'm like, okay. So I left one hand on the steering wheel, and I reached over to the passenger side, grabbed my purse with the other hand. And as soon as I put my purse on my lap, mind you, it's a little shoulder cross with the, little handbag. And as soon as I open my purse, there he goes with his flashlight looking all in it. Like, dude.
Plain sight.
I'm like, really?
Plain
Wasn't
sight.
nothing in there, probably but some maxi pads or like tampons and shit.
Right.
Whatever, lip gloss, all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, I type the thing on my phone. I show it to him. He's like, I'll be right back. So he comes back. He was like going over the whole spiel of the ticket. You're doing 50 and a 35. I started to be like, I don't care what you say. The speed limit said 50 right up the street. So whatever. But I left it alone. I was like, you know what? He's right. I was a little speeding. He was at the freaking speed sign that said 35. Whatever. I took my ticket. I said, have a nice night, officer, whatever. And I left and went about my business.
Oh, fucked up.
And then he waited for me to leave before he pulled off. Like, pull off first.
Well, they have to do that because he's probably doing after work.
Should have did that when he took my stuff to his car.
He probably he's still probably typing a report in. They don't pull away. But
okay, now I know some of the things I did wrong, but if I felt like he had a serious attitude problem, you don't snatch things out of people's hands.
Right.
You don't ask people, where are you coming from this late when it was only 7:30, and he could clearly see that I had a badge on my shirt.
Yeah.
So, plus, like you said, he came to the passenger side first before he came to the driver's side.
You were doing too much.
What was I doing? I was always told by my mother and father to be prepared when you get pulled over. The only thing I didn't do was have my hands out the window.
No. This is what you do when you get pulled over.
Tell me, Kim, since you know the protocols.
You just pull over. You do everything.
But Fernando Castile just pulled over.
Listen, that was unfortunate, and he should have. The guy should have been fired and charged with murder. But if I could continue, this is why he stutter stepped at the back of your car.
No, Julie, hold on, Julie. I did not let him take my open and unlock phone. He wrote down something because he had a little, they have their little pocket notepad or whatever. He wrote down the insurance policy number from my phone.
Right. He probably wrote your name and date of birth or whatever was on it.
Well, he had my ID.
Yeah,
I did let him take my ID. So.
But was your significant other's name on the policy as well?
It was me, yes, and him at the time.
Right. So he wrote his name down. He didn't write your name down because he had your ID. So he ran both of you. So, right.
None of us have records, so.
I do understand that, but that's what he did. So when you're getting pulled over, Joya and the listeners, just get pulled over. Do not move. Don't move. You can have your hands in your lap, but just don't move. Once you start doing this, you look like you're hiding something or grabbing something to maybe harm him. That's probably why he went to the passenger side. Now, you do everything in front of him. When you go, this is what you do. He goes, your license and your insurance. My license is in my glove box. Can I go get it? Just simple. No sarcastic tone, no facial expression. Just say, hey, it's right over here. I'm going to go grab it. Most of the time, they'll say, don't worry about it. Where's your ID? You know what I'm saying? Give him your ID. If he jacks it, just...
No, he wanted everything because he made sure. He was like, before he started walking back to his car with the other one, and I guess the date on it was expired or whatever. And I was like, oh, you know what? You're right. I have Geico now. Let me pull up the app for you. And then he was like, the way he was and the way that he snatched the original insurance paper out of my hand, he was being a real jerk. So that's why I said what I said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I said it just as calmly as I'm telling it to you. I didn't roll my neck or roll my eyes or do all of that.
I know. And I know you rolled your neck. I know you rolled your eyes. I know you made all types of...
No, I did not. I said it just like this, with my hands on the steering wheel. I said, my phone is in my purse on the passenger seat. Can I get it, or are you going to shoot me? I said it just like that.
You can't say that. You just caused...
How can I not say that when Sandra Bland and all of them hadn't just so long got killed?
Here's the thing. We've also said that speech ain't free.
It's not free, and it does have consequences, but at the same time...
I'm not going to argue with you, but listen. Now, the Cloud Village put a question up and said, I don't have to let my window down. I'm in my car. You can't search without probable cause. Simple. Now.
Right, Amelia. Why can't I say that? I'm just being real.
No. Here's the thing. You want me to tell you the truth, or you want me to just let you get out here and do reckless shit?
Wait, okay, go ahead and tell the truth. And Cloud Village, I didn't have to raise my window down, but from what
listen.
Okay, go ahead.
Cloud Village says, I don't have to let my window down. I'm in my car. You can't search without a probable cause. Simple. No, it's not that simple. You have to understand, when you're dealing with law enforcement, you are at a disadvantage because the law is not for you. Once you start being combative, you've created probable cause because you're put under the suspicion of being facetious and hiding something. And if you're being pulled over, there's probably a traffic infraction. So with the traffic infraction, you can be questioned about the infraction, but once you start getting belligerent, you can be taken out of your car, you can be handcuffed, you can be detained, and now you've created suspicion. There's the probable cause. Now, if you don't consent to a search, they will then ask you, okay, they'll say, okay, cool, we're gonna bring the dog out. Now, it's just gonna be a great inconvenience. And it's like, we can wait here for an hour for the dog while you're in handcuffs in the back, or you can allow me to search if you have nothing to hide. Now, if you want to be an asshole and say, no, you can't search, and just say you pull their card and they say, okay, the dog's not available, we're just gonna impound it. And then we're gonna put a charge on you.
What charge? Okay, what is the charge for being a smartass or being sarcastic?
No, you've committed a crime with the traffic infraction.
But what crime on top of the traffic infraction says you're being a smartass?
You want me to tell you the biggest crime that drivers commit every day? Improper lane usage. Driving in the left lane. That's not the fast lane. That's a passing lane. You drive in the right lane. So you can get.
But we have signs like that.
Anybody get pulled over in the left lane, you've committed a crime. My brother was detained because he had low washer fluid and low tread on his tires. You know why they gave him that ticket? Because he was an asshole. Who pops the hood of a car for low washer fluid? Now, what I'm gonna say is, if you do not want, there's no such thing as a routine stop. No such thing as a routine stop. No such thing. No routines. That's not, routine stop means that you just get stopped for driving. A crime has been committed if you've been pulled over. Speeding, careless operation, if your car doesn't have the proper lights, low tread, washer fluid, an oil leak, smoking.
How do you know how much washer fluid I got?
Oh, being an asshole, they'll pop your hood. They can check all that. Once you create, they'll just put 12 tickets on one ticket. That's why you comply.
I complied.
Right, but what I'm saying is, just do what they say, no attitude, so you can go about your way.
So if he has an attitude with me, then he's in the right.
Let him. He's in control of the situation. He's in control of the situation, and he can make the situation worse for you.
I know that, but I know the limits as well, as far as I'm not gonna throw my ID out the window either or anything like that.
But then that's where we talk about the human aspect. Just because they have a badge don't make them cordial, doesn't make them nice, doesn't make them respectful, doesn't make them respect you.
I know that.
You know what I'm saying? So you're dealing with
I was always taught
with people at the end of the day.
People, how they treat you. And if you're gonna snatch something out of my hand because maybe you had a bad day or you didn't meet your quota or whatever, and you thought I was somebody else that may have been a bigger catch for you, that's not my problem. I'm already trying to rush home from work to go pee, and you stopping my flow.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have to make the situation worse, don't. Let them.
I know, but he made the situation worse by snatching that out of my hand.
You have to.
Because he was upset about whatever.
You have to let a loser feel like a winner sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Because you know You know what you do when you stoop to the level of a clown? That's when the circus begins.
Not my monkey, not my circus.
I'm just saying though, what I'm telling you is the person writing a report has the power.
True.
But
all I'm saying is that I felt like I wasn't as rude to him as he was to me. Now, if I was ruder than him and tried to get a one up on him, then I can see how I would have been asked to step out and stuff like that. But I just said it calmly, and I said, look, my phone is in my purse. It's on the passenger seat. Can I reach over and grab it, or are you going to shoot me?
You can't do that. You know, let me tell you this.
Why?
Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. One time I had to detain somebody. I was working inside the federal building, and this gentleman was going through something. He wasn't getting what he wanted or whatever. And I said, hey, sir, you got to leave. Just come back tomorrow. Guess what he said? You wonder why they blow buildings up like this.
Oh, I would automatically throw him in jail.
That's what I'm saying. You can't.
That's a bomb threat.
You can't say that. But what I'm saying,
whether you want to do it or not, that's a bomb threat. I'm telling him that I'm asking you that, can I get my phone out of my purse that is on the passenger seat, or are you going to shoot me? I didn't say, or do I have to shoot you?
Right, listen. You said 5 words that were unnecessary.
Okay, and it was unnecessary for him to snatch my information out of my hand. After I politely.
But do you know those 5 words could have had you pissing on yourself?
I almost did. I was really mad.
That's what I'm saying. It could have you pissing on yourself. You say something like that, all right, now you being a bitch, step out the vehicle.
I would have just peed in the back of the police car. Sorry.
Another crime. But
that's not a crime.
That is a crime.
If I tell him I have to pee.
Destruction of city property.
If I tell him I have to pee, well, I'll be like, can we step outside the car real quick? At least let me squat to the ground or some shit.
Nope. There's the thing. Y'all keep trying to let you know that attitude will not win against them. I
know, but if I ask politely, be like, look, I was on my way home. I had to pee. I know you're going to put me in the back. Let me tell you something.
Now you've given him ammunition to hold you longer, so you do piss in the car. Now you do get a charge. Because now you've pissed in my car.
Damn, Ken, we just can't win then.
That's why you got to let them go about their business.
But I did. And it actually came back with a ticket.
But what I'm saying is your actions would have made him react, and it could have been detrimental to your health.
I know. And Patrick, the showing the boobies thing does not work. You'll get a decent exposure. Don't worry. My cousin tried it. I never tried it, but that's probably because she got some.
Hey, Cloud Village, ask your friend who's an officer, because I was an officer, and if you piss in that car, it's vandalism of city property. I don't care if you got to clean it out or not. You can't. Here's the thing.
Cloud Village, you got to understand this. We live in the country. We live in Texas. Not all of the seats are plastic. Some of them are just regular cars. I've even seen someone get pulled over by a Camaro, by a freaking, they have weird cars out here.
They got Ford Focuses, everything.
Yeah, they have all kinds of cars out here. It's country as shit. And hold on.
Phone died?
No, hold on. It's country as shit, and people can easily get pulled over by a random vehicle. And that's why I always like to have God dang it. Hold on a second. I always like to have them identify themselves.
You do what?
always like to have them identify themselves, because we get pulled over in random cars. Thank goodness this was an actual police vehicle, SUV, to where it had all of the police stickers and markings on it, you know, and things like that. And that's another thing that I look for, is that I do make sure that they have their badge, they look like a real uniform and all that stuff too, because you never know, you know.
Right. I will say this, being that there are a lot of women in here, I will say this. If you are pulled over by a vehicle that is not, because they got the shadow markings and things like that. That's what they do with the performance vehicles, the Chargers and things like that. They're shadows. Here's the thing. All police vehicles are marked by a license plate, shadow marking. Unless they're like undercover, you won't know. But if you know what you're looking for, you can see the lights in the grill and things like that. But I'll say this.
And then,
can I please finish my statement?
Huh?
Can I please finish my statement?
Oh, I was just gonna say the shadow markings is the main one that I see. But go ahead.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you could just be quiet for a moment, please. Thank you. But that was great content right there. But ladies, if you are pulled over by a vehicle that does not look like your typical police cruiser, we have the Explorers out here, and we have Impalas, Chargers. But the Chargers is they've gone away from those. They've gone with the Explorers exclusively. But said that to say, if you are being pulled over by a vehicle that does not look like your typical vehicle, you have the right to keep driving. As long as you're not speeding and it's becoming a chase, you can pull into a well-lit area and populated area to be safe. You have that right. You don't have to stop. You can say sir, I didn't know who you were. He's probably going to be like, get out of the car, get out of the car. You just got to deal with that. You got to deal with it. And just, if that happens.
Not right, though. If you're a woman,
listen,
traveling by herself.
Listen, please. So if you do that, there could be consequences of them drawing their weapon and being forceful with you. Just comply, let them do what they do. And when your day in court comes, let them know that you did not feel comfortable being pulled over by a vehicle that did not look like a cop car. If this is the car they were driving, they were in a Ford Taurus or a Ford Focus with lights. I did not know that they were cops. I was in fear, so I pulled into a well-lit, populated area. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. Because you don't have to stop if it's a car.
If that's the case, then I should have kept going until I got to the HEB or to the
What
Sonic
kind of car was it that
lot.
pulled you over?
It was the SUV one.
And you clearly said before that you saw the markings and you knew it was a cop car.
So?
What I said was non-typical vehicle. Like, you don't get pulled over by Mustangs. You don't get pulled over by Mustangs. You don't get pulled over by Focuses. You don't get pulled over by pickup trucks. You know what I'm saying? They have
Mustangs down here, though.
They do, and they have pickup trucks too.
That's some country ass shit. We need new laws down here. But
most of the time, those are sheriffs, and they're the guys who,
they wear the big hat.
They do the road work. The big hats are state troopers, but if you get like a pickup truck, it'll probably be a modified personal vehicle, and they're sheriffs and they do road work. They are overnight with the road work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tori, I do understand that just comply shit, but sometimes I don't even like saying just comply. Do what you have to do to get them out of your way. It's just like this. If I sold dope and the police rolled up on me and I would do what do you need, sir? You need me to stand on one foot and pat my stomach and rub my head? Yes, sir. Do you need my ID? Here you go, sir. You know why? Because I want him to get to do what he got to do, write me my summons, give me my warning, and go about his way so I can keep selling drugs. Don't inconvenience yourself trying to be a smartass and inconvenience them because they have the upper hand.
I get that, but even if we do comply sometimes, they still are assholes. They still provoke us. They still find reasons to shoot and kill us. And what do we do?
You can't be provoked. You just, like I said, and we're gonna close the video. We're gonna close the video with. I want to hear it. Know your rights. Exercise your rights in a direct, non-threatening manner. Like, I can't raise my voice at a cop. I can't get angry. I'm 6'2", 295 pounds on a good day. I can't raise my voice. I can't walk towards. You see what I'm saying? Because my stature alone is threatening.
But so okay, so I have this question.
Okay, go ahead.
I have this question.
I can't talk because this is the Julia show. Go ahead.
Okay, I understand what you're trying to say, but all I'm saying is that we can do everything in our power to listen, to comply, like you want to say, or to try to get them to just go about their business, and they still will fuck with us.
Right. That's what the cloud business just said. We comply, we get shot. We don't comply, we get shot. We can't win. I do understand that. I do understand
Sade,
that.
Sade, we miss you. We need to link up tonight. Thank you guys also for joining us. I've seen a couple of other people join. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And guys, I'm totally,
hold on, let me say something. Granted, you have to understand. I understand what you guys are saying, but I'm coming from the perspective of an African-American male, a large African-American male, and I'm coming from the perspective of someone who worked in law enforcement. What I'm giving you is tools that will benefit you. Let's not play the devil's advocate and just think that all law enforcement are bad. Because here's the thing, every officer has a breaking point, they're human, and the laws aren't for us. They're not. So anything you say and do can spark a reaction.
I know.
What I want to say is do your best to not spark that reaction. Learn your rights. Learn your rights. Be firm. Don't be an asshole.
Okay.
And let them do what they got to do so they can get the fuck on. When they know you know your rights, they will not fuck with you.
What about Ahmaud Arbery? Remember, he got, not stopped. He got addressed.
Those are civilians.
I know that, but I'm just saying, Ahmaud Arbery, before he was killed, like maybe some months before, when he was on his lunch break, he was sitting in a car in a park listening to music, or he was on his one day off, I believe, and the police approached him and gave him a hard time just because he was sitting there. But he wasn't even bothering anybody or doing anything. He gave them the information and all that.
But that's when it comes to with that story, is that he was almost tased because the officer said he had veins in his chest. Sorry, he's athletic. I told you, they scared of us. He was an incompetent Caucasian male who was on the police force to feel empowered.
So what do we do about people like that?
We need to have, this is the issue. Nobody wants to be a cop. You see what I'm saying? Me, I come from both sides, and I wanted to be that. But what I'm saying is they want community policing, but nobody from the community wants to be a police. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. So when there's a need, that's when you get pussies with badges. You see what I'm saying? Motherfuckers who are overweight, short, small in stature, small in endowment, who are naturally inferior, who can't, they need their badges to get their rocks off. But now for Breonna Smith, they need better training. You cannot train anyone to be a good human. You can't train anyone to be a good human. People are people. Before they put a badge on, people put celebrities, badges, public officials, the president. They put these people in a higher echelon. Educated people, college graduates, they want to put them in a higher echelon of, they should know better. They're smart. They're this, they're that. No, at the bare bones of it, they are human. No matter what you have on, your educational background, badges, guns, training, you're a human. And stop holding people to a higher standard because of an accolade. They're people. That's it. But the thing, okay, they say the annual training.
So
I got
with
a question.
that,
I got a
wait,
question.
hold on. I'm gonna answer that last part.
While I ask this question.
Okay.
Tell me, Ms. Breonna Smith in the Cloud Village, what type of training do you think would make a better officer? Now go ahead, Joy.
I was gonna say that. So if you're saying that training doesn't make them a better human or a better person, if they're not upholding to the training that they're taught, or if they're scared, or if they think that they can't handle the job, even though they want to be a police officer after they've gone through training and everything else, then how do you then, I don't know. You said that, wait, hold on. You said that they're humans like everybody else, right? So they're not shitty cops, they're just shitty people? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So why are they allowing shitty people to become cops?
You just fell into my trap. We are workplaces. Is everyone at our job competent?
Hell no.
Right. Are they fired?
No.
Because there's a need. If you fire all the incompetent officers, there won't be enough officers to patrol.
That was the one good point you've ever made. The only one.
No, I make several good points because I'm in the
No, that was the only one you've ever made in your life.
Never.
All I'm saying is this. How does one weed out the shitty people cops from the good people cops?
But it goes back to what I said. If you do that, you have to replace them. No one wants to be a cop.
What about we have the military be cops?
Yeah, I understand it. And while refresher courses, I did refresher courses too. Firearms every year, first aid CPR, baton, OC spray, weapons of mass destruction, bomb detection, magnometer, x-ray machine. Those are all annual trainings. But how do you train someone to be a good person? You can't. You can have all the training in the world and it does not matter. It does not matter. I just say if I was just Big Bad Ken, because I got a badge, I can put my hands on people. And all I got to do is write the report. All I have to do is say you did something and they're going to think that I'm lawful. That's just the asshole human. Training does not have anything to do with that.
Julie said no to military cops. How do you feel about the military becoming more active on the police force? No. I feel like the military is more disciplined.
No.
I do.
Here's the thing.
As a person who has several people in her family.
Here's the thing. Do you know how many people that joined the military after 9/11 just to kill an Afghanistan person? Muslim?
That's not the ones that look like us.
No. Right, that's what I'm saying. But the things, but people that look like us don't want to be cops.
But what if they're appointed to when they join the military? You can either be a military
Oh
cop
shit,
or
I
a
forgot.
cop.
Wait, Demir, we have someone who's in the Air Force in here. Demaria, I don't know if you want me to say that.
Demaria, I'm sorry, but I feel like you guys are more disciplined than the average cop that's out on the street. I've known someone who was a cop in the military.
Tori, hold on, let me say this. Tori said, no one wants to be a cop. You just said you were in law enforcement. You know why? Because I wanted to be a cop. Now, why I'm not in law enforcement anymore, because there was a situation outside of my job that I'm no longer there. Not saying that I couldn't stay there, but I had to take care of myself, so I took another job. I have thought about going back, but I can say that the stress from the job and where I work now, it's the pros and cons. I don't want to wear body armor. I don't want to wear a duty belt. I don't want to wear boots. I don't want to wear a uniform. I want to be able to come as casual as I can. I like my schedule because I was on 12-hour shifts. I also don't want to go to work and be verbally berated. I don't want to be called pussies. I don't want to be called bitches. I don't want to be saying how motherfuckers I ain't shit because I got on a badge. Oh, you a black man, you fucking with them. You know, that's every day at work. You don't go to work and have to hear that every day. That takes a toll on you.
I do. I used to hear it from you every day.
But that's different. I mean, listen, but what I'm saying is, you know, people aren't going, you're not at your job and people say, bitch, you stupid motherfucker, bitch, you ain't shit without that badge. I'll whoop your motherfucking ass, bitch. I'll fucking whoop your ass. Now, Joy, if you heard that every day for 10 years, what would happen to you?
I would whoop somebody's ass.
Thank you. Because you have a breaking point because you're a human.
No, I would only whip the ass that really deserves it.
Who deserves an ass whooping? Who are you to say who deserves it? Who are you? Here's the thing, Joy, you have on a badge. You don't have that right to sue to be judge and execution.
I know that, but what I'm saying is that I know the difference between a person that talks shit just to talk shit or a person that gets in your face and threatens bodily harm to you.
But listen, though, what I'm telling you this is this. Every day, 10 years, every day, 10 years, someone is berating you and you can't do. Here's the thing, I could have been an asshole. I could have been an asshole and whooped a whole bunch of asses.
Right.
But no, I'm a good human and I did not do that. But it's many a time that I say, man, this is it for me. This is it. But I say, no, I'm gonna stay. I have a purpose here. I want to do better. I want to help people. I want to do this, that, and the other. And if I have to suffer, you know, being physically threatened, verbally berated, that's just what it is. But I could have been an asshole and knocked several people out. I could have went overboard with anybody. I could have went overboard. I could have. There's this gentleman. I tell this story all the time. This guy had to be 60, 70 years old. He was in an area he was not supposed to be in. I told him, hey, go back this way, this, that, and the other. I very rarely grab people. I like to guide people with an open hand, but he kept raising his cane over his head. Once you take a cane off the ground and hang it over your head, it's now a weapon. Guess what I did? I took him to the ground in front of at least 40 people. And everybody say, you pussy, you big motherfucker, why you had to throw him to the ground like that? I don't know who this motherfucker is. I don't know what he about to do with that fucking cane, because if he fucking hit me in my fucking head and take my gun and kill me, do you care? No, it's just another cop dead. You know what I'm saying? That's what people don't realize. You have to go up to a stranger and deal with the situation. You have to go inside places and not know what's going on at the same time, being all types of bitches, hoes, pussies, stupid ass nigga, you Uncle Tom ass motherfucker. You see what I'm saying?
But at the same time, you have the mental capacity and capability to identify certain situations. Did you ever have to kill anybody?
I have pulled my weapon twice.
But did you ever have to kill anybody?
Let me talk about killing people and shooting. Now we're going off on the deep end because people are gonna hate me now.
They already hate you.
Right. But I'm saying for the one time I had to pull my weapon and I was going to use it. I was mentally prepared to use it. I was ready to use it. If the gentleman had made one more move, I would have shot him. If he would have made one more move and not
But are you trained to shoot to kill?
let me say, no, we're not trained to shoot to kill. Now, we are trained to defuse a situation. Sometimes we have to use lethal force. We're not trying to kill anybody. Sometimes people happen to die. We're not trained to shoot in the head unless someone is in immediate danger. Well, if I'm in immediate danger, it's kind of hard to shoot someone in the head. But say someone had you like hostage with a knife to your neck or whatever, you're covering their body. We can only hit what we can see. You know what I'm saying? If it happens to be their head, that's just what it has to be, which most likely it won't be. But if it is, that's just what it is. We're taught to hit the largest part of the body. Now, let's go about shootings. As a cop, you're doing a crime. I shoot you in your arm and you can never use your arm again. You can sue me. If I shoot you in your leg and you can't use your leg again, you can sue me. The thing is, because that is a precision shot, you did it on purpose, and you're not supposed to do that. That's a marksman. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, why didn't he shoot him in the leg? Why didn't he shoot him in the hand? Why didn't he shoot the gun out of his hand? Why didn't he shoot him in the leg?
You know how hard, okay.
You cannot do that.
I understand why people would say, why they just didn't shoot him in the leg or the calf or the foot or something like that. But when people say, why didn't they shoot the gun out of his hand? That's one of the hardest things to do.
It's not, but yes.
It is. It's like
you would just shoot him in the hand and they drop the gun. You wouldn't shoot the gun out of their hand.
It's not an old Western movie, so I don't know why people say that.
And we're not taught to shoot.
Okay, so what is the largest part of the body? The chest and the stomach?
Yeah. Center mass.
So why would they tell you guys to shoot there when there are arms and legs that will subdue somebody? If I had a bullet in the arm or leg, I'm stopping.
No, that's you, but there's people who are high on drugs. But like I said, that's a marksman.
Oh, also, are you taught to shoot people running away?
You can't shoot running away. Unless it's immediate danger to someone they're running towards. Like say they're running and shooting, you can shoot them. But if they're just running, no.
Okay, I just wanted to ask questions because you have that background and I want a lot of people to know what's right, what's wrong, what to do, what not to do to, you know.
No, but the thing is, we're not trying, we can't do that. We can't, because here's the thing. If you just say it was me and I can shoot pretty well and I can pick where I want to shoot you. But the arm is a small target. I could miss and kill somebody behind them. I could miss their leg, anything. But what I'm saying is, say like you're just in a shooting and then you shoot somebody in the arm. They're gonna question, they're gonna be like, maybe you didn't do it. They're gonna check my scores, they're gonna take my weapon, my range scores, and this, that, and the other. If I shoot perfect all the time, they're gonna say he meant to do that. And the guy's gonna sue me if he can't use his arm anymore, this, that, and the other. But then say I have to shoot somebody else and not shoot him in the head on accident. Now another investigation, it goes, well, he shot this person last time in the arm. We thought it was an accident, but maybe he did it on purpose. Now it's murder. It's just depends on who your attorney is and if they can argue, the fact that you are precision and a marksman, this, that, and the other. But let's see who's mad at me now. Let's see.
So let's go through the questions and address some of the questions. Demiria, I suggested the military police only because I feel like the military is more professional, I think, to me, just by what I see.
That. We can't assume that.
But I know that, but this is from what I see. They're more disciplined. Also, she said that the military cops aren't out here killing people. And I feel like in order for you to become a cop, an actual police officer, I feel like you had to have done some military time. If that's a requirement, then I think a lot of people would not, they would weed out some of the other people.
No.
I think so.
How many people you know in the military?
What?
You know how many dumbasses are in the military?
Oh, I know there's a lot of dumbasses in the military.
Right, so you're asking some of those dumbasses to be cops now?
No, I'm saying some of the military police officers, because they go through their training too, but not only do they get the military training and discipline, they also get the police training and discipline as well. And I feel like those people should be allowed to be civilian police officers.
I don't understand the discipline part.
They do, trust me. They hold the military. Okay, so what happens when a riot breaks out and the police can't control it? They call the military, right? Right.
Yeah, because you know why? Because the military can kill you and get away with it easier than a cop.
Okay, well, never mind then.
And if the military have to come in, that's one hell of a riot.
Okay, so let me see. What are some of the comments that we skipped over? So
I don't know, but I know I'm looking at it like motherfuckers getting agreeing with Tory. I done been a stupid motherfucker up here somewhere.
So Tori says, if that's the case, then why is it okay for a cop to say I was scared for my life?
That's a human. You keep saying cop. Quit holding badges to a higher standard. People can be fearful. Just because you have a badge doesn't make you invincible. And
Brianna says cops know what they do when they sign up for stuff they're supposed to protect and serve.
What? They keep speaking to holding people to a higher standard because they have a badge and took a job. That doesn't stop you from being a dumbass. Badges don't make people better. Training don't make people better.
So Tori says he was abused mentally every day and finally snapped. She said, nah, that's weak. Wow. So what about the cops that?
So I'm weak because my job.
No, she said it's weak that people think like that and snap.
I think like that.
So did you snap?
No, here's the thing. There were days.
Okay, so what did you do about it?
Took a walk. I just took a walk. But everyone isn't like me. But there were days, I'm trying to tell you, there were days where you just sitting there like, I don't give a fuck. Now I'm getting off the George Floyd thing because that was tragedy. I'm talking about me personally and the question that are asked in here. That thing that happened with George Floyd, tragic, unnecessary, egregious, that was murder. That was not a cop that did that. That was a murderer. Someone who did that on purpose. His body language said it, and that's what I know.
Tori also says that they give that excuse to mass shooters, school shooters. That's BS. Stop it. Where they snapped.
The thing about mass shooters and school shooters is this. There are several tens, 20s, maybe even hundreds of victims, thousands of victims with 9/11. No one remembers the victim, but they always remember the shooter. They do that to live in infamy. You know what I mean? They do that. Attention, this, that, and the other. It's a mental imbalance. This, that. They something's wrong because I'm gonna tell you this. It takes a lot to shoot somebody. A lot to shoot somebody. Or not a lot if you have a mental illness or disability or whatever, but those things are for clout, infamy, things like that, because they will live forever. After death, they will live forever. The Unabomber, Jeffrey Dahmer, Timothy McVeigh, the DC sniper. No one knows a victim's name, but they know the killer. And that's why they do that, for their own demented gratification. And those people have things wrong with them. Those aren't humane people.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's go to
this officer in this case was very inhumane, heartless, and he's a murderer.
Okay, so what about Brianna says, what are tasers and etc. for? Why not use that instead of going straight for the gun?
Now, with the whole taser situation, it's like this. We have mace as well. These are levels of force. So you meet the level of force with what people are doing. Now, it's so many different ways to deploy these different things. If we're in a closed building and you deploy your mace, you have the propensity to hinder yourself and your job. There's civilians around you. There's things where Hispanic people, some of them aren't even affected by mace. So they may not even be a factor. Now, we have batons. That's just so much. You have so many different areas you can hit, you can't hit. You hit them in the head, you hit them behind the ear, you hit them in soft joints, anything. You can't, that thing doesn't happen. Now, tasers. Tasers are hit and miss. If you deploy the taser, one of the prongs don't go in, it's ineffective. Or you're in a fight and they grab, I'm gonna tell you this, if there's a cop in a fight and you grab his taser, mace over time, he can shoot you. Because now his life is in immediate danger. You know what I'm saying?
I get that if they take it, but why is it that cops just automatically pull out a gun before they even think to pull out a taser half times? You have that on you. Because the taser they're not effective. But wouldn't you rather give it a shot before just shooting somebody and possibly killing them? That shot could be your life. That misfire could be your life or someone else's life. Yeah, it could, but that's what you signed up for. Nobody wants to die. The person in front of the gun doesn't. The person behind the gun doesn't. I didn't sign up to get hurt at work. I didn't sign up to get shot. Well, people don't wake up in the morning and walk outside and expect to get shot either. Right, but I'm saying, give, man. But now we're talking about people. You keep saying what we signed up for, the job, and this is what you signed up for. What type of shit is that? I signed up for the military, and there's a possibility of me to go to war and fight in a war, then I know that that's a possibility. So when I sign up to be a police officer, I know that there's a possibility that I might have to discharge my gun and I might have to kill somebody. And if that's not something that I wish to do, then I'm not going to sign up for that job. That's plain and simple. Just like... Are you agreeing with me or arguing with me? I'm disagreeing in a sense because of the fact that I feel like you have other avenues or methods of subduing people. You know what I'm saying? You're taught moves to get somebody down. You have mace, you have taser, you have a baton, you have all this other stuff, but it seems like people are going for the gun first. And just like the cop doesn't want to die when they sign up to be a cop, just the person who wakes up in the morning and gets stopped by the police for a simple traffic thing, or let me see your license, and they're trying to pull it out and they shoot you, like nobody expects that to happen either. He could have tased Philando Castile if he didn't feel comfortable with him reaching for something. He had a child and a woman in the car with him. It doesn't matter who was in the car, but he was a murderer. He asked me for his ID. Keeps breaking up. Is your internet okay? Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I know the bill due tomorrow. But look, guys, before we get too wrapped up, we got to answer the questions. Let me go to the next one. 119. Okay, I know. We're gonna wrap it up. Cloud Village says, I'd rather be able to use my damn leg or arm than have my life taken. Demaria says that she agrees with Brianna. They know what they're signing up for. Tori Rose says, so because you didn't want to take the chance because they can turn around and sue you, Black people have to die so they can't sue you.
Listen, hold on.
Go ahead and address that. Let me stretch my legs because my feet are numb.
What I'm saying is this. When you shoot someone, you have to deploy lethal force. No one, if it's a justified shoot, justified. We're not talking about the injustices that's been going on lately, but if you do have to shoot someone, we are not trained to kill anyone, but lethal force is just that, lethal. We stop the threat, whatever it may be. Sometimes people die. Now I'm talking about justified shoots. That's what I'm talking about.
So what about I have a question about one story that I seen. It was about a guy. He was running away from the police officers, leading them on a chase. He was running through a field, and he was actually on live at the time. And the police officers bow, 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 until, of course, he died. And then they walked up to him and was like, "This is gonna be a closed casket."
That was murder.
How many times is a police officer allowed to discharge their weapon to subdue a person who has no weapons on them? Which I get it. They may not have known if he had a weapon or not because he was running away. But like you said, they're not supposed to shoot at people running away unless they're immediate danger to someone else. Right?
Yeah, 2 to 3.
So you don't 2 to 3 and that's it.
You don't shoot, no. 2 to 3 is the minimum. 1 is never gonna happen.
Wait, you broke up. I'm sorry.
2 to 3 shots. 2 to 3 shots to stop an assailant. That's what you're trying to do. If you shoot them twice and they keep going, you deploy more, you shoot more until the threat is over. Now, we're not going to shoot them 16 times. That's just overkill. If it's one officer, one person, 16 shots in one person, that is murder. If you're shooting, it's 2 to 3. You never shoot someone one time, because if you shoot somebody one time and they die, that is just a can of worms. It's just, you did that on purpose. You shot them, you killed them. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's very stupid, because if you shoot one time and they die, there's just so much legality with that. Because I'm gonna say this, and this goes back to what I said before. Officers who do things right are at a disadvantage when they're dealing with citizens, criminal or not, because you have on a badge, any incident is going through with a fine-tooth comb. That's good cops. I'm not talking about bad cops, but you just have to, cops need to conduct themselves better. Sometimes when you're dealing with cops, you have to do things to make it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I get stopped by a cop, call me a bitch, because I'm not gonna be acting crazy. I don't care if I'm right. I'm just gonna be like, yes, sir. No, sir. Here's my ID. Wait, this? Okay, this what you want?
So
this another?
How does that make?
I'm never gonna be belligerent. Never.
I understand that, and for somewhat I can agree, but sometimes I feel like what upsets us is that we get stopped or profiled for no reason, and that's what kind of frustrates people. But then also on the flip side of that, you have people who don't look like us, who go off on cops and curse them out and be all in their face and you know, all of this stuff like that, and nothing happens to them, and they just tell them move along. You're acting crazy, move along.
White people aren't threatening.
They don't know that. That's the same thing this one cop thought, and I seen a video.
No, what I'm saying is this. Like I said, 6'2", 290.
Don't
matter. Same
matter.
white man. Listen, Joya, listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you from what happens to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can't go with you have to be an open mind. If I'm dealing with someone white, they are afraid of me. They're not afraid of other white people. They think they're equal. When you're dealing with them, they're equal. I can fight a white man and stand a chance. If I fight this nigga, I'm gonna lose. That's what I'm saying. They're afraid of us.
But what about the cops that shot that dude? It was 2 cops that were chasing him, and they both discharged their weapons. And one of them, the one who actually said it's going to be a closed casket, was African American. So what do we do in that case when?
Cloud Village, skinhead can be 6'2", 290. I'm not afraid of a skinhead at all. But I can say this: if there's a black dude 6'2", 290, I probably got my work cut out for me. That's just the God's honest truth. I'm not afraid of them. I don't give a fuck if he's a skinhead, this, that, and the other. I don't care. They not afraid of their own. You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid. And here's the thing, 2 years the minimum. So she said, Swiss cheese, someone is okay. The thing about it is, like I said, one cop cannot shoot someone 8 times. Cannot do.
That's what I'm saying. So is 2 officers allowed to shoot at one person that's running?
Yeah, because you don't know if the other person's gonna shoot. You don't know that.
But if they're together,
both of them are wrong. But what I'm saying is this: if there's multiple cops, if they're, let's say this. Let's do a perfect scenario. Perfect scenario. There's a gentleman in the commission of a felony crime, may have just killed someone, may be killing someone at the moment. And he gets up and he walks towards the 4 officers. They don't say, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna shoot? No, they're all gonna shoot. You see what I'm saying? Because someone's dead, and now he's turning towards us. One of us 4 are in imminent, someone's dead, and we're in imminent danger now. Discharge the weapon. They're not gonna pick who does it. They're all gonna do it. And I'm gonna say this, and I worked with a motherfucker like this before too. Right after Katrina, and I'm gonna close this video out because it's getting a bit long. If you have anything, we can spark it up tomorrow. If you're a Patreon, if you want us to keep going, please send us a message. Inboxes. Maybe I'm tripping. Anything. If you got something to say, hit us up on Twitter. Anything. Instagram, any social media. If you have anything you want to ask me or Joya, hit us up. But what I want to say is this. I think I lost my point. What was I going to say?
A perfect scenario. And then you said you'll close with this when you talked about the guy that just killed someone. And then I was trying to rewind it for you.
I fucking lost my point.
So I just want to end with this. All of the killings are sparking riots, you know, whether it be by the hands of police that have killed people, whether it be by the hands of so-called vigilantes that have tried to de-escalate or do a citizen's arrest or whatever that their excuse is, you know, whether it be someone who just called the police on an innocent man in a park, you know, thank goodness nothing happened to that well-educated Black man. But I feel like something has got to change. I think that people aren't being held accountable for their actions, whether they're law enforcement or not. And this is why this continues to happen. And this is what's causing these riots. And I 100% agree and support what people are doing to try to combat the justice system, because it's not made for us. Like you said, the laws aren't made in our favor, you know? So I feel like until we get some type of resolution, until we can get some type of laws put in place or some type of accountability and consequences for the people that constantly do this to us, then nothing's going to change about that. So
No,
that's what I have to say about that.
Right. But I mean, but the thing is, at the end of the day, know your rights. Know your rights.
And sometimes it doesn't help. It helps tremendously for the people who didn't know their rights before and maybe can get out of a situation. But I just feel like sometimes if you know your rights, it still doesn't help.
But the thing is this. What I'm saying is, know your rights. And if it still goes left, just do what you have to do to go home. If you're dealing with a dumbass, let the dummy be a dummy and go to court. Make it to court. Make it to court. That's it. Let an idiot be an idiot and make it to court. Make it to where you can tell your side of the story. Because if you stoop to the level of an idiot, he has the upper hand.
I get it, but I'll agree with you too, and I'll agree to disagree. Only because I feel like we've done so much to quote unquote comply, to, you know, act friendly or cooperate or to look less, what is the word?
Because they're gonna see what they see anyway.
To look less aggressive or whatever the case is, or anything. Like, okay, I didn't know you wore glasses, Ken.
I do.
I know a lot of
when did you find out I wore glasses?
Because you said you have contacts and you never like wearing glasses. Remember? We had that discussion one time? Because you were trying to do the podcast and you said your contacts were blurry. You don't remember nothing. Anyway.
I remember now since you said that. I don't remember that day.
And I know a lot of Black males, especially ones that are larger in stature or, you know, more athletic looking, that will wear their glasses over their contacts just because they feel like it makes them look less threatening because of the job they have or anything like that. And I feel like we shouldn't have to do that.
When I walk, here's the thing. If I'm walking and I'm not looking at nobody or talking to nobody, you know what I look like. I look menacing and mean or attitude, but then as soon as you say, hey, what's up, Ken? Hey, what's going on? I'm just
you are the one guy that I can say that I know that has resting bitch face.
I be thinking, man. I be thinking. But as soon as you say my name, what I do? Hey, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Hi, what are we doing? But if you didn't see me, you just be like, there have been many people who say, man, I didn't think you smart. I didn't think you talked. I didn't think you laughed. You're always so serious. I'm like, I'm not serious. I'm just being me. But that's what people see.
But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of it is unnecessary things that we have to do as people of color to appease situations.
That's true. That's true.
I feel like it's very unfair. And I think that once more people start being held accountable for their actions, then I think it's going to change and they're going to start to see that we're just people just like them.
Right. And I think, here's the thing. There's a lot of things going on, and we need to close it out. This is the fifth time we've said this because we've just hit 2 hours. But I'll say this. We do have to get better. And in all things life and humanity, there's glimmers of an upswing when it comes to people, race relations, and relationships. You know what I'm saying? It just goes from wholesome families, crack epidemic, broken houses, single mother and parents, and then after
all
the
of that
generation after us is kind of swinging to getting married, staying married, raising their family. You know what I'm saying? The divorce rate is still high, but you still see loving families around. At one point, you didn't see none of that.
But that was brought on by the.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
I know that, but all of that.
What I'm saying is glimmers of an upswing. I understand what the back. I'm glass half full. I know it's still bad. Here's the thing. It's terrible. It's still bad. But what I'm saying is glimmers of an upswing. Even with the mayor of Minnesota saying, you need to do something. You need to do something. With the FBI stepping in quickly. You see what I'm saying? There's back before, niggas was just getting off.
So I do leave out with this, and then I'll let you go ahead and wrap us up. But we do have some updates. The Minneapolis mayor is calling for them to be charged, which right. I don't think they've ever released these police officers' names. It was 4 of them that they're saying believed to be involved.
They have the Asian guy's name, who has a real Asian name, and he's not like one of them, you know, an immigrant that came in and has an Asian name, and they go to Social Security and change it to an American name. His name is something Tron Fong Dong. I'm not being funny. That's how his name is. But the white officer, they got his name out, his address, a property that he owns. All that shit is on Facebook. And they're in front of his house.
So I will say that the president spoke on the situation.
You sleepy. You mumbling and fumbling. I can see it in your face. You sleepy. Joy is sleepy, y'all.
Shut up.
It's 10:30. Wrap this up.
Okay, I'm about to wrap it up right now. So the president said, at my request, the FBI and the Department of Justice are already well into an investigation as—
Tell Trump to shut the fuck up. He's a liar.
Can I finish the statement?
He's a motherfucking lie.
He said, at my request.
Fuck him. No, he didn't. Don't even say that part. He's a fucking lie.
Okay, can I just finish the quote and then we can close it? Okay, guys.
Piss me off. Don't ever give him no fucking clout.
Anyway, it says that he is calling into an investigation as to the very sad and tragic death in Minnesota of George Floyd. He says that he has asked for the investigation to be expedited and greatly appreciate all of the work being done by local law enforcement. My heart goes out to the George's family and friends, and justice will be served. So,
tell me this. Does that sound like Donald J. Trump? That whole soliloquy caption, he didn't write that shit. He taking credit for something somebody told him to do.
Look at what Julie put. Look what Julie put.
He tried to get social media shut down today. I don't want to talk about him on the podcast.
Okay, well, go ahead and take us out. I just wanted to leave off with that. That was the most recent update of what was going on. I try to keep up with the news alerts as they come in. And so we'll see where this goes. I'm tired of hoping, but I do hope that justice is served. And I feel like that if we can come together as people of color, that goes for not only our African-American people, that goes for our Hispanic brothers and sisters, that goes for, you know, just pretty much everybody who faces the same injustices as us and who know what it's like to not have that privilege in society and not, you know, can basically walk outside and feel like we might not make it home every day. Right. All of us that feel that same way need to come together. And the people who don't feel that way or who do have that privilege, I hope that they use their power as well to stand up for the ones that always get pushed to the bottom of the barrel. So that's what I want to happen. I'm hoping. I'm tired of hoping, but I just wish that a lot of changes and things will be made. And that's it. I pray for peace and I pray for closure for the family as well, because it's hard to lose a loved one, especially in front of the world like that. So, you know, I just pray everything goes according to what the proper plan should be, and that is for them to be charged and convicted. Same thing with people who abuse 911. I would
Boy, you
say,
long-winded.
hmm?
You long-winded. We're gonna be 2:30 with your
Okay, go
salutation.
ahead. End it. You ain't cut me off to end it yet. Go.
You started talking. Thank you,
Anyway.
Klaus Rich. No, let me tell you a funny story before we go.
Oh, see, now you talking
No,
about
listen,
me.
no, it's gonna be extremely quick. And what was crazy, disheartening to me today, because on Facebook, everyone, Black men, we love you, protect our Black men, you know, Cloud Village, say she appreciates us. But I called an insurance today, you know, and it's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, being that I'm from Louisiana, they're in my city. You know, I talk about things that's going on there and this, that, and the other. So I'm going through my thing or whatever. We get done with the authorization, and the young lady goes, "All right, Ken, you have a good day. Be safe." That's, you know, that's like that code. We talking to each other, but we on a recorded line. So you see what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy that she, I mean, the way I talk and cause we talk about where I'm from, and I know different areas and different things. And I guess I sound black. I sound black or whatever, but she just was like, be safe. That was like, I hung the phone up. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. Person that doesn't know me, just, you're a Black man, be safe. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta do that though. We have to reassure each other, not just the Black men, the Black women, but the Black children especially. Because
Julie, shut up. No, it was a Black woman telling me to be safe. Don't try to take my shine. I understand. No, here's the thing, Julie. I apologize. But what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying with the COVID, but she said it differently. She didn't. I've had the be safe COVID thing. I've had that. This was different. This was the total Black woman to Black man, be safe. But with that, that's been another episode of Maybe I'm Tripping. I swear to God, before we got on, I said, we're gonna be a short, quick one. We're gonna talk about Central Park Karen. We're gonna talk about, I didn't know about Jim Carl. And then we're gonna talk about the unfortunate tragedy of Mr. George Floyd. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your feedback. I love everyone. I was not getting angry. I just wanted to get my point across from the aspect of a Black law enforcement person. I understand. All the tragedies, that's what they are. Murderers, unfortunate tragedies. But I was coming from Perfect World, why, giving you an insight of what goes on in the head of an officer who has been dealing with the public and things like that. I have never shot anyone. I have pulled my weapon. I have put my hands on people, but I have not beat anyone up. I have not been egregious because I'm competent. I know they're human too. No matter blind, cripple, crazy, 18 to 80, you got to do what you got to do on the job. Uphold the law and keep the peace. But thank you again for coming into another episode. Friday, it's going to be a lot more fun. Games, drinking. Let's just move forward. Justice will be served. I'm Big Ken.
And I'm Joya the Queen. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. Patreons, we love you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, bang the bell so you know when we go live. I just want to say I love you guys too. Black men, Black women, people of color, everyone out there, stay safe in this time. If you're going to protest, be safe doing that. Please make sure you're wearing your mask because of COVID-19 still. And let's just come together and help each other. That's all we need. Once we can accomplish that, we can do anything. And I know we'll get shit done. So peace.
Peace.